Hey, you all. I'm not even going to start this story till there's a few people in the room. I'm just going to sit here patiently. Now, I'm doing Facebook Live about this situation. So I'm bringing down my level of aggravation, because that's really all it is aggravating. I was thinking about an interaction I had with someone a few days ago, and then I realized, I said to myself, that person's a real energy vampire. And as much as I have been doing this weekend, I've been really tired. And I was like, okay. Peep game for what it was. Took care of the situation. And hello. And then we're up, we're working. I have literally no time for this. I have orders the size of about a term paper thanks to my sale, okay? A lot of times I have sales when I'm traveling so that I can buy extra supplies, so that I can vend and bring a pretty good selection. So we're slamming to get stuff for the festival season to start, because we're talking about several different states throughout the United States this summer. And also processing your orders in 5 to 10 business days. I'm going to need y'all, especially the ones who know me well, to remember 5 to 10 business days. For those of you in the back, that's 1 to 2 weeks. Why? Because every time I make something, I make it for you. Now, the only thing that's ready to go over here in my place are these itty bitty jars of formulations. Not these big jars, those are the roots I sell and use. But this is what I make, okay? I make these itty bitty jars, small batches. If you know anything about herbs and roots, you know why. You want things to be fresh. I had a set of samples that I used last festival season, and we opened them up, and sure enough, they're natural. They weren't any good anymore. We got rid of them. We put them in. It's so cute. I don't have one on hand. We put samples in the little paint cans, and we do one for each formulation, because I make 50 formulations. That way you can smell it. You maybe even dab it on yourself if you feel so inclined before you purchase it. But I'm not doing full-size samples. It's really messed up for the environment. I'm hoping that any product that you buy from me, you find some way to repurpose it. Especially given the topic that I'm going to talk to you about right now. I'm going to shut this door since you're out there with Sanaya, okay? Okay. My grandbaby's in the family room. We don't close the door. I got pictures of her helping her mother make a formulation last night. You gotta understand a few things about me, okay? I had a very disturbing message from a fellow Mambo. There is a young lady that I have offered to mentor, has been part of our witch circle here, has come to my home, and, without going into too much of her business, I'm just gonna say this. She doesn't like what I have to say. It obviously, the truth, disturbs her to the point where she went to another Mambo and told them that I said not to let them do workings for her. Baby, number one, voodoo has a lineage. I love about African traditional religions. At some point, you're going to answer to somebody's mama. I answer to my mama. She answers to her papa. He answers to his. We are very public about the names of our associates. It's in my bio. They know how to go and talk to my spiritual leader. Love that. That's called having your papers. Okay? I call them my freedom papers. That also, ideally, is supposed to have a code of ethics. Now, I'm not talking about Bokors, witch doctors. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about priests and priestesses, Mambos and Gans. We don't share details of our initiation. We don't share details of a lot of things. And I'm from the school, because my Mambo, I asked her what she wanted, and we're always on the same page. We were probably twins in another life. And she said, I want honesty. I want integrity. I want me to be proud to say that you're a member of my house. And I'm like, hey, we good. I'm already like that. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Y'all know. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's taking a little bit longer to get orders out, y'all. I got a stack of orders like this. Okay? I'm doing 4 times the amount of business that I did last year. And I'm happy and I'm grateful. But like I said, I make it all by hand. So that's why me taking the time to share this is so very important. I need every single one of you to share this. If you belong in the ATR community or in the psychic community or in the root workers community, you share this with everybody you can, because this is the introduction to me, because folks are acting like they do not know me. And that's a problem. I would never, ever, ever, ever just out of the blue tell my client that they shouldn't get work done by anybody. I don't have time for that. I don't know how people work. I don't know, for the most part, whether they're legit or not, unless they've made themselves infamous. And guess what? Have you all ever seen me short step to talk about those people who have made themselves infamous in the world of magic? People don't like me, and that's okay. Because number one, living for somebody else to appreciate you and who you are is the wrong move. That's the thing about magic. It comes from the inside out. Now, is that to say, like I said earlier, really broken people shouldn't be working on other broken people. That doesn't mean that you weren't broken at one time. That don't mean that you perfect living. It's not what I'm talking about. But just like in therapy, when you get cognitive skills to learn how to cope, especially with triggers, things that bring you back to your trauma, then you're doing well. And honestly, that's really all you can do if you have been traumatized. Been there, done that. When I'm sick, or if I'm in my feelings about something, I don't put my hand in your roots. When my cousin died, I took a whole month off. And yeah, it probably, if my business had been like it was today, it probably would have made a big dent. But guess what? I'm not doing this for the money. You know, literally, I paid $222 last night for candles. Candles, y'all. We're not going to talk about oils, herbs, roots that don't nobody buy. But I do try to honestly sell you things. Okay? So I'm really offended when someone who I took under my wing, and when they calling me mama, when I read you like the psychic that I am, and I read you like I'm your mama, you better take it like a child. Or else you can't come here in that context. Now, this particular young lady could have come in here and gave me money she didn't have. If I felt that that young lady would have benefited from spiritual work, I would have gave it to her. She's come over here and helped. She's been nice, but I did tell Shadow when we met them, her and her sister, that they were going to be problems. And I don't like to be judgmental, but damn it, when my third eye is talking to me, I'm going to really have to stop giving people the benefit of the doubt. But what is inexcusable about this whole situation is 2 things. Okay? I need me to do 3. 2. Got arthritis in his finger because I use it a lot. But the first thing is that I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. So this might be more than 3 things. And you're going to be pissed at me. I've had people get a reading from me, stomp off, walk out, hang up, block. But they ain't never come back and said I was wrong. I don't do this to be liked. It blows my mind every time I go to a festival and people are running up on me like I'm some sort of rock star. It's kind of mind-blowing, but it does feel good because really, you know, especially in the initial years of having a business, you're pumping every last dollar back into it because I got a whole ass job. That's another thing I'd tell another worker today. There's certain things you want. This is what I'm trying to tell people that I mentor. This is the house that work built. This is the house that Ogu built. Okay? This is the house that St. Jude built. But I was right there with them. And I don't go to spirits or my ancestors and ask them to do a damn thing for me until I have exhausted every single last mundane option possible. Or I need to give that mundane just a little boost. Okay? Right. And see, folks is sleeping on the fact that I am their elder. what the fuck are you looking at here? I know I'm young looking. I know I'm fine. But I'm telling you, this all pretty much has started to come about in the last 2 years, coinciding with me trying to be a spiritual counselor to people. You know, Mama Star is on. And I remember when I tried to leave this whole situation because of very type of shit like this, but it was white folks. And I was like, I can't do this. And Mama Star was like, no, you have no choice. This is your calling. Spirits are calling you. That's like Jonah. You gonna get caught in the belly of the whale? I don't want to be swimming in the belly of the whale because I did not answer my calling and fulfill my life's purpose. But I'll be damned, even on $1 million day, that I let somebody lie on me. So we had a conversation, and you damn right, I read her ass for filth and threw a few cards for her for free. And told her what she needed to do, and then we could get started on some magic. But till you have crossed your T's and dotted your I's, your magic will fail. Like, you see all these trifling ass people on Facebook, and they always talk about backwoods Kentucky magic and all this good shit. And every time you see them post, not only are they putting their personal business out for everybody to see, and I keep trying to tell people, magic works on people's weaknesses. Can I get a witness? Let me tell you something. Magic works on people's weaknesses. It creates opportunities. But you got to be there for those. And see, long before I was a witch, I was always there. In fact, I've been having some restorative conversations with my oldest daughter who's just come back home. We got a new baby coming. And I told her, you know, one of the things that I had to stop doing was imagining that people would do what I would do. Sometimes you got to let people do them so that they can learn. You know, we didn't walk for our kids. We made them walk. We wasn't there up under them, maybe when in the beginning, but after a while, to teach them how to swim, they swam. So, you know, I'll be damned. First of all, before I got initiated, I was always a mambo, but I had to be taught how to be one, and that's a lifelong lesson. You ain't heard me beating my chest, talking about how wonderful and how great I am, because I have never, ever. I talk about the Old Testament all the time. People think that because I say that magic doesn't correspond with Christianity, that I'm talking about the Old Testament. I am not. Moses, the original conjure man, forgot to acknowledge God when he knocked water out of a rock. And yes, this story may be older than, it definitely is older than the Torah. Okay? So, he didn't acknowledge God, and he didn't make it to the promised land. When people ask me about where I am and what my mental energy is as a worker, I said, look, I'm a conduit. I'm a flawed human being. But I've learned, or they've given me the abilities to tune into certain things that people cannot. Some people cannot. But I honestly believe, especially with black magical people, that so many of us have this power and we don't use it. I've seen us be magic. In the mundane world, we are magic. So in the magical plane, woo, why do you think that they kept us from it? Why do you think they would kill us if we practice it? And we're not just talking about black people. We're talking about brown people. We're talking about Asian people. Missionary work wasn't meant to civilize people. It was meant to oppress them. And they used an oppressive book written by man, most of it 300 years after Christ died, to do so. Okay? I've been trying to write a whole class around this, but my business is doing really well, and my baby's about to have a baby. She gets tired. Okay? I am going to write a book, and I'm going to write a class about stepping out of the broom closet and removing Christian guilt from your practice. Did it at Daughters of the Moon. I'm going to do it on a bigger scale. We are also going to do a virtual Rootwork 201 in December. And so, yeah, I'm a human being, so sometimes I think about stuff and I'm like, how am I going to do this? And spirit just talks to me and says, baby, haven't you done it before? So that's where I am in my journey. And that's not ruled by anybody's religion or organization or somebody's power. That's something that I've had to work on and cultivate with my spirits and stay in my lane in the process, because you didn't see me doing no work for people like that before I got initiated. You didn't see me do that. You've never seen me post a picture of active work. In all of my advertisements, I show you my products. I don't show you my work. And yes, I have done workings for people, and they will anonymously tell you what I've done for them. But guess what? It wasn't me. It was my spirits. It was my ancestors. The people who got me here. The spirit who got me here, who rides in me, who loves me, who lives in me, did that. So no, there's really no reason for me to be online posting any of it because it's not mine. If anybody's, it's yours. So, in my efforts to make you realize that, black people, because that is your freedom, and white people who are allies, and brown people, and yellow people, and, I don't like to call Native Americans red, but you're brown, if you ain't white, if you are white. I always talk to white folks and be like, why don't you work with your ancestors? You ain't had nobody that loved you. You don't have a praxis within your ancestors, and why aren't you excited about that? Right, why post pictures of workings? Why sit around and tell people how powerful you are? The only thing I'm going to sit around and tell y'all is about how honest I am. I messed up orders sometimes, especially when we're busy. I found an order here where I was supposed to set a light last week, and somehow the order, because it also had products on it, got in here. So I was getting ready to call the client and say, look, I set your light today, but I'm going to give you another one for free. If anybody here has ever had anything wrong with their order, ask them. My friend David Sosa, they sent he was trying to send a gift to someone. They sent it back to me twice, and I sent it to him again with both of them. That's the type of person I am. I don't really feel like I should have to say stuff like that, but he testified about me on Facebook, and I was really grateful for it. That's the type of stuff I just love to see. I love to see people uplifting people. So where on Bundier's green grassed earth would I go to another mambo, or she would come to me about another mambo, and I would tell her, you don't work with that priestess. I was like, oh, whoa, slow on, mambo, wait. When she called me, I was like, now that don't make no sense, because that's what we have lineages for. I could have talked to my mother about it, and she could have talked to your mother about it, and we could have seen what was happening. But I don't even do that. I'll give you an example. I had a client, baby, gave a worker, and I was Facebook friends with this woman. I don't know the woman personally, okay? I didn't even remotely, most people that I know personally, I wouldn't even feel comfortable getting up in their inbox about some stuff, but most of the time, they're the frauds, and you know it. Well, associate with people like that, or the customer is lying. So I don't even approach people about this, but baby, I am so happy that this mambo contacted me. And so, because what you're telling me don't even make sense to a voodoo sign. Because we are a family. We are all family. Now, there's a lot of stuff that my kids do. People always think that I have this perfect life. Blah, blah, blah. It is not my business to put my business in the street, and it is not your business. I had one of them babalawos in my inbox trying to tell me about how he was a prince from Nigeria. I'm like, and my people from Nigeria too, whatever. And then he asked me about my job and my children. Because, see, magic works on your weaknesses. Now, if I'd have got on there because I was so desperate for somebody to listen to me and I was having a bad time, I could have told that man all my business and he could have used it against me. That's how these people work. Not good. But even in those cases, I just told him he was rude and he didn't need to know that information about me because he don't know my ass at all. And clicker, block, see you later. So yeah, I'm going to make enemies. Because I'm not down for the foolishness. I never have been. And even more so now, y'all, if you could see the amount of work I have in front of me. And I love it. I count it all joy. But what I ain't gonna do is have somebody try to take me off my square on some bullshit. And this was what the mambo said, and this is what made me make the video. I was just gonna, do what I usually do, and I just usually walk away from people because you're gonna miss me before I miss you. Guaranteed. Okay? And, of course, I keep my reversal in full effect. So whatever you are throwing, my spirits are going to send it back to you so hard you are probably going to wish, first of all, that you never did it, and you might want to wish you was dead. Because if you're throwing that kind of hate around and it comes back to you, baby, you're in for a world of hurt. And I don't have to lift a fucking finger. That being said, you can't lie on somebody with an impeccable reputation and them not have a problem with that. You also cannot mention the name of our private organization where I have been training you for well over a year, at least the group collectively, at no charge. I ask for a love offering to pay for supplies. And any member of the Black Witch Circle who's on here now who wants to identify themselves can, and let you know that. But that's a secret group. So she should not have, everybody knows I have the Ohio Black Witch Circle, but she mentioned me by name. I got receipts. The Mambo sent me all the screenshots. But I said, Mambo, I'm going to show you where I am. I messaged them both. I said, so you didn't like what I had to say to you and you lied on me to another Mambo? That's not cool. It's not in your best interests. You have to understand that people do have certain energy. And I'm not really the type of person that you want to be angry at you. You don't want that. Now, what I have learned how to do is control my anger. But it's saved up for stuff like this. Because you fucking with the church's money. At the end of the very day, my reputation is my business. Number one, if you come to me, Pharaoh, if you live in Ohio or Pennsylvania and can get here every month, yes, you can join the circle, inbox me. But, yeah, wickedness always comes back. We talked about that. She also didn't like the fact that I talked about how you have to do divination before you do magic. But the whole thing is I ran her up out of here, so I'm not going to take your money. When I know that what you're doing is not going to work because the spirits are watching and they hold you accountable. And yes, I believe that our spirits are right, just, and holy. If they was right, just, and holy individuals on earth. People ask where evil spirits come from. Well, there's some evil motherfuckers on earth. Science, what comes up must come down. There's going to be yin, there's going to be yang, there's going to be white, there's going to be black, there's going to be light, there's going to be dark. I like to stay over here in the light, having a good time, living my life, being my best person. And not over here. And it's funny because it depends on who you listen to, because my dominant hand is my left hand. So I'm lucky because they say you do your work with your good work with your dominant hand, but my dominant hand is my left hand. It's always problematic, but I've become quite ambidextrous in all things. Make no doubt about that. I've hexed people before I knew I could. It made me really upset to find out that I had done it too. But she had it coming. I took it off. But I believe, once again, in righteous work. I mean, sometimes witches have to do the right things for the wrong reasons. Like, the right thing is not mentioning this chick's name in public. Okay? Or sometimes you have to do the wrong things for the right reasons. Sometimes you have to take a motherfucker out. But it's justified. If that was not the case, then people could just be randomly knocking folks off. Most people aren't even that powerful magically. You can make things difficult for people. But, I'm not going to talk about the work that I've done, but I've seen people disappear, or go crazy, or get sick. But you have to understand it was on their weakness. Magic works on their weakness. So if you're evil, magic's going to work on your evil. It's going to eat you out, inside out. Some folks probably want to get ate out, but that's not what I'm talking about. No, baby, it's not even as serious. Because the reversal of that foolishness what she is putting out there. This is part of the reversal spell. Remember, words are spells. Declarations are spells. And I'm going to declare this to you. I had a customer come to me and tell me about a woman who she'd sent her personal concerns to. And this woman was a Facebook friend, but I didn't know her personal. You know, we weren't on speaking terms. And depending on how speaking terms, it's not karma, it's reciprocity. We talk about that in other videos. You know, I spoke to her on Facebook on occasion, but this person came to me, and I had been her, you know, diviner for a little bit, and she bought some products from me, and she told me, I'm really upset. I gave this worker $600 to do some work for me, and they didn't do it. And I'm like, well, did you file with the Better Business Bureau, at least rip-off report? You gotta, you know, if somebody mistreats you, you gotta do something about it. You know, if you're telling the truth, then tell the truth. Because I'm always going to tell you to tell the truth. And she said, oh, she has my personal concerns. You know, I don't know how many of you all let those tires screech in your head right now. And I was just like, okay. And this was probably the worst case I've ever heard of somebody being mistreated. But I have lots of people. And usually when they tell me the worker's name, I don't even know the worker. And usually they're not mambos. Or they've got some other primary practice other than being a mambo. But, you know, I don't even know the people when they mention them to me. But what I do say to them is, if what you're telling me is true, number one, that's fucked up. And that's really shameful. And you should find out what her societe is and report her to her mother. And or maybe her mother's mother, maybe the whole damn house is like that. I don't know. That's a chance you take, but really you sent your personal concerns to somebody that you really didn't have a personal relationship with. So I'm always encouraging you guys to make your own stuff. But I can start you off. I can make a mojo bag for you, and you can go and put your personal concerns in it. So that crap that you're worried about mojos, you better off charging your own stuff. Like I said, you got to be in some kind of situation for me to do spell work for you. And I'm talking about a situation, especially if it involves children or something like that. You know, okay. But beyond that, I want my man to come back to me. No, bitch. No. I can help you make him stay gone. I can help you love yourself just a little bit better. But no, I ain't gonna make that fool come back. Stop playing. I've been with this man for 7 years. You shouldn't have any questions about him. If he ain't wifed you and you want to be wifed, go someplace else. I don't think marriage is that important, but since you do, you might want to go get a new man. Meet somebody who gonna marry you. That's right, they left for a reason. So you have to imagine, I'm not gonna say millions, but lots of people, hundreds of people who have come to me and have gotten these messages from me and they don't like them. And I'm telling you, baby, yeah, I lit into her ass the other day when she was at my house. Yes, I did. Because I knew when she walked in the door, she ain't divine, she ain't asked, she ain't done the footwork that will make magic slide right into that crevice and make it happen for you. And I didn't say, don't come here again. I didn't say that. I said, when you have done that, then we can do magic. And guess what we're going to do magic for? So you can go and get a new house. So she found a mambo who specializes in getting people houses and went and dragged my name, saying that I told her, she told our whole conversation to her, which is something I still haven't done with y'all. I haven't told you what we talked about, and I won't. That's my client. But I'm going to tell you that I found the story to be unreliable. I found that other things needed to be done to make the magic work better. Now, I could have done that, or I just could have took her money and gave her some roots and sent her on her way. And the biggest question is, which one would you rather me do for you? Tell you what you want to hear, or actually help you solve your problem? Anybody? I mean, really, because if you really want to be told what you want to hear, I can do that all day long and take all your money. Because, ooh, that's really what I'm here for. I don't know why she had the need to talk about me in somebody else's inbox. And now she's messaging back. But I didn't even read all the screenshots because I can trust the word of another mambo, but I'll go back and read them. And what I was told was that I said she shouldn't get work done from her. And I'm going to tell you something, you all. The only reason why those words would ever come out of my mouth is if somebody came to me with a situation like the one I told you about before, where they paid for services and they didn't get them. Then I'll say, well, and depending on the circumstances, I'm going to say, cut your losses. I'm not going to go talk to that worker. You know, I don't know. And sometimes, all the time, the whole story's not being told. And I don't sleep on that. So the reality of the matter was, you know, the fact that somebody doesn't like what I have to say, okay, we don't have to be friends. I delete people every day because I don't like what you have to say. I don't argue with you on my way out. I don't flounce, and I definitely don't trash your name. If I'm talking about something or somebody, it's some information that has already been out, like everything I've talked about this year. If there was a friend of a friend, and I thought she was a pretty cool person, and she blocked me, and I asked my friend, hey, can you find out what happened? But chances are it's some shit like this. Somebody that person trusted told them that I wasn't shit. To the point where they didn't even want to check with me. I get that to a certain extent. But because I didn't know, when my client came to me and told me about how this person had kept her money, I didn't have any skin in the game with that other worker. I couldn't say whether or not this client was lying. I was definitely not going to say to the client, you're lying. Which is definitely not what I said to her yesterday. But there's lies. There's lies all through it. And I know it. I do a lot to avoid hurting people's feelings. Because when you are really in a bad way, most of the time you're really low as you can go. However, if you're not there yet, and you can make a difference, and you can fight whatever is going on with you, I'm going to tell you what you need to do, because ain't that why you here in the first place? So when I tell you what you need to do and you don't like it, that's not my problem. But I'll be damned on my mama's grave if I let anybody go and talk to another worker. Now she's trying to backpedal. I've invested enough time in this evening. I hope she watches this. She ain't blocked on Facebook yet. Okay? And don't get your ass in my customer group, because I ain't a chance to delete you yet with no bullshit. But the reality of the matter is, if I ever have a problem with another worker to the point where I gotta bad mouth them, oh, now it's a misunderstanding. Okay, the fact that you said my full ass name and named our witch circle. You didn't like what the fuck you were told. You went like a little bitch to another priestess and lied. So misunderstand, this ain't no misunderstandings. You ain't welcome in my house no more. You ain't welcome in the circle no more. And whatever you think you can get clever about sending my way, a nigga wishes that you would. Good night.